Good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, Fapstronauts. Welcome back to the Your Brain Rebalanced show. My name is Apeman. Well, that's not my birth name, but I'm joined with creative parents named me after monkeys, and it really worked out for me. And as always, I'm joined by Fugu and Jeff, whose names are neither Fugu nor Jeff.
Those aren't our birth names.
No.
No, oddly, my parents didn't name me Jeff. They named me Dan, but I use Jeff. I don't know why.
I like it, though. I like that.
Nobody knows why. It's one of life's big mysteries.
Why do we choose the alter egos that we do?
What is the meaning of life? Why am I called Jeff? All these questions are yet to be answered.
Maybe they will be answered today.
Maybe. Who knows?
I really think you should open the show every time. I really think you should open the show.
Really?
I do. Yeah. You have an insane voice. Some guy on the forum said you sound just like Tyler Durden.
An insane person.
No, not insane in a bad way. Like
he's built for radio, man. He should be a radio presenter.
You do have a radio voice. 100%.
He's got a radio voice.
You don't have a porn addict voice like us. You have a radio voice.
Thank you.
Porn addict voice.
I'm glad that I've got that.
Oh my god.
I've got the voice.
Is that what this must sound like?
I don't know. Maybe I used to sound like that. Oh, some more porn.
Well, we got a treat for you, ladies and gentlemen. We have a treat because today we're discussing the future of fapping. How technology... I mean, when you think about it, what is this problem? It's an unintended side effect of the information age. It's this technological malady that we all suffer from, and it's... I mean, technological progress has in no means halted. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here. You guys are familiar with the Oculus Rift, are you not?
I was just looking that up in my inbox.
Yeah.
Virtual reality technology on the horizon, currently being developed, and not only is the technology being developed, but there's already porn for it. Virtual reality porn, sex simulators, if you will, complete with dedicated animatronic jerk-off technology. So, if you have the cash, ladies and gentlemen, you too can get jerked off by your computer. So my question to you, gentlemen, is, are we doomed? And how doomed are we?
So much to unpack in that question. It is interesting, though. I mean, it isn't interesting to bring up. If you can have so many of these awful side effects and erectile dysfunction and other sexual issues with, like, your tablet or your PC, what's it going to be like when you put on Google glasses or, like, anything else that makes it... I mean, you could essentially... I just can't picture... I would be so addicted to that thing. If I had virtual reality sex...
And I think it's going to be something that a lot of people end up addicted to. I mean, Facebook bought Oculus for $2 billion, and they want to... Zuckerberg says he wants to turn it into the next communication platform that will all be kind of meeting and interacting in a virtual space in the near future.
That.
Mark Zuckerberg sucks.
Zuckerberg.
Fuckerberg. Sorry, I had to go there.
He told my dog that it was an ugly dog one time, and I never gave him.
You know, I mean, here's the thing with that. I mean, I think it's going to be bad, right? I mean, I think if you're having virtual reality sex on your new virtual reality device, I can't see it being very good. But like, how much worse can it really get? I mean, it's going to be more enticing, you know, more attractive to do. But if I already had like extreme ED at the age of 21 from my computer, and I was addicted to my computer, I think the Oculus will.
Oh, it seems like it'd be another step up in stimulation. But I'm going to go ahead and play devil's advocate here, and we look at internet pornography of today, And what it is, and what the problem seems to be, is that it's such bottomless, infinite novelty that you can be seeing, a different girl every second, and that's how. I mean, I know that when I'm surfing, that's the way it goes. Is it's just pick, 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 and I'm seeing more tits and asses than all of my ancestors combined at this insane rate. It's this insane rate of consumption, and I can't help but wonder if maybe when we shift over into this virtual world and people are having virtual reality sex, does that not mean that we'll be transitioning away from this kind of rapid shot novelty? Like if you're having, imagine if you're having sex with some sort of virtual avatar or something, doesn't that mean that you're disengaging from this kind of rapid fire novelty?
That is very interesting. Very interesting.
That's what I was going to say, though. I was trying to say with the last point is I think the novelty is the big thing. So, like, if you can have novelty the way you have it with, like, a porn tube site.
Dude, I'm sure you'll be able to. I'm sure, like you'll be able to have gangbangs and all sorts of shit on it. Like, it's not like you'll just get one girl and that's it. Like, people will be like, well, I can't have more than one girl. And then it'll be thousands. You could have probably loads of scenes. But I guess if it's just one scene, even then, if it's just one scene, you're in a one scene. You can't be in many scenes,
right?
Can you? I guess if you're in a virtual reality world.
It is more interactive than a porn screen. I mean, like,
and it is like
animatronic. How does that change?
I still think it's going to be awful for you, though. I mean, don't get me wrong.
It will be a net bad for humanity, but who knows? That's the thing. It's such a frontier at this point. We don't.
Who would try it if they had an opportunity?
Everyone's going to
even now.
Here's the thing.
If I wasn't a porn addict before, I would.
Yeah,
I know better now.
That's the thing. Like, as a guy who's committed to leaving porn behind and living this fapsionatic lifestyle, at the same time, if somebody walked up to me and it's like, hey, virtual reality goggles, sex with Scarlett Johansson, I'd be like, you know what? I'll try anything once.
Yeah. Same.
And that's what I wonder, because I'm a guy who's like dedicated to quitting, and at the same time, I know that I would give it a shot, probably.
Same. So, I'd give it a shot, probably. Yeah.
So I can't help but wonder: are we all going to be swallowed up into this kind of virtual world? Is there going to be an exodus from the real world, or am I just being all sci-fi and dramatic?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I bet it will take over. It'd be nice. Something like this is something that would bring up the issue a lot more. I feel like once you start having virtual sex, it kind of makes you question. It makes the conversation of the damage of artificial stimuli a little bit more to the forefront of talking. I mean, it's weird. Are you like virtually fondling boobs? And like, I don't know how this works. Are you pelvic thrusting with the Oculus on?
The thing that I saw, it's out of Japan. Big surprise. They've got their simulator that they've got right now. It's this animatronic fleshlight thing that syncs up with this avatar inside the goggles. So she's tricking a guy off, and meanwhile in the real world, there's this little fucking animatronic fleshlight thing that is just jerking around.
Sounds so stupid.
I mean, it looks like, when I saw it, I said, this is the way the world ends.
I mean, I do know when I was researching my senior paper it was on porn addiction and porn-induced ED. One of the things I came across was this article about the declining interest in sex in Japan. People almost have an aversion to sex now in Japan. It's like 25% of young males.
The birth rate is crazy low.
Nobody really wants to screw. Yeah, it's kind of strange. But this woman who's a sex therapist works like treating a lot of people who have these aversions to sex, and she treats a guy who's he's addicted to not addicted. He's only sexually stimulated by robots, whether it's robots on a screen or in front of him. So, I think it's plausible to say, even if it's like a fleshlight and it's interactive, probably going to cause sexual dysfunction. I mean, it will cause sexual dysfunction.
That's an interesting thought, where it may not be the same kind of rapid-fire novelty that we see in the current digital age, but what if it wires everybody away from even wanting to be around other people?
Exactly. I want to screw my robot, not the cute girl
I'm just going to
at
stay
the coffee
home
shop.
And hang out with my Marilyn Monroe bot.
That's a nice name for your robot.
But that just has, but it will still have the equal of like the same effects of porn addiction of sort of the porn addiction we have now, in that it will have that disconnect from reality, that inability to connect with other human beings, that lack of empathy that you experience, that
smells,
sense of,
smells and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, brain fog. I'm sure it will just have the exact same effect, because it's only human interaction that's actually fulfilling. I mean, if you think about it, when you fap, it's not like when you orgasm, it's nowhere near as fulfilling as when you orgasm with a person. Like when you orgasm with a person, it's like, wow, this is actually really quite fulfilling. It's quite nice. But on your own, I find it, for me, it's just like really kind of, it's not really a nice thing to do. It's just something that I do maybe out of necessity or whatever. Just not.
Kind of a narcissistic thing, isn't it? The whole porn chase, where there's no other feelings to consider. It's just you direct the show and it's all about you. It's this big narcissistic kind of thing, and I feel like that will be continued. That will absolutely carry over into this virtual space where if people are dating robots, it's still an entirely narcissistic thing. You don't have to do anything for the robot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's still not real either, because you'll be able to determine what you want, how you want, when you want.
Sure.
You know, that's not the name of the game at all. It's not even wanting. We were talking about this a little bit before the show. It will quickly turn into needing when you are able to have it on a dime like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It won't.
The thing is, if you're in yeah, exactly. The thing is, if you're in a relationship, like, so much like still like real sex is so much better, because you can actually communicate with the other person and tell them like what you want and what you like, and they can do the same to you, and it's that feeling of fulfillment of actually helping the other person, be pleasured as well. And the fact is just you being pleasured by this pixelated thing, like, and you can't really talk to it, and you can't tell it like, oh yeah, like, do that, or
yeah. There's zero interaction, zero sharing. It's
and you can't like touch this. You don't feel that feeling of skin against skin or anything. It's still just like hand against cock. It's not like something against cock. Like when you're having sex, it's like skin against skin. It's that whole experience of touching the other person, caressing them, and feeling sort of like, do you know what I mean? That
listening to her or him, your partner.
Yeah, you have to pay attention.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like your robot's going to be like, hey, I really want it tonight. Like, I don't know. Like,
maybe that'll be the next step. Then they'll gain sentience, and they'll be like, hey, maybe a little slower.
Well, right. It's kind of on that same note. It's kind of like that whole Her thing. Like, what if it was? Did you guys see the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix? And it's a great movie. I loved it. But his basically, I'll give you the rundown. His operating system is completely sentient. It's an individual. The technology is so sophisticated at this point that it creates individuality.
Yeah, your computers are people, and this one happens to be Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, the voice of Scarlett Johansson, which isn't bad, but it's a person. It interacts like a person. It has wants like a person, and the main character falls in love with his operating system. It does kind of sound cheesy, but they handle it really well, and it was probably one of the best movies I've seen in the last 2 or 3 years. But if you're able to get to the point where something like that is like sentient, like, that's crazy. I don't know.
that's a little further in the future. If we get there, then shit. Maybe we'll get out of all this shit, because we'll actually have to pay attention to our computer's wants.
Well, what if your Oculus was like, hey, I've been thinking.
Why don't we ever cuddle, man?
Yeah. Why don't you look me in the eyes?
You're so self-centered.
Yeah,
I always look you in the eyes. You're stuck to my face.
All I ever do is jack you off. You never gave me any pleasure. You don't care about me anymore. I thought you loved me.
Yeah.
It'd be a weird day for humanity.
That would be a weird day. It'd be a confusing day.
I mean, I'm confused now, but shit.
Twice as confused then.
Meanwhile, all these guys right now are fapping vigorously and just looking for the next best thing, and we're just like sitting here taking the piss out of it.
Yeah, I know.
But the truth is that, like, oh man, like if I was in that state right now, like, and I hadn't, and this came along, I'd be like, fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I think it's gonna swallow a lot of people up right away, hook, line, and sinker. I think it's gonna be big.
Like, to be honest, like, I'm worried about like if I ever saw one in the shop, like, I definitely just would not even engage in the thought, because I know that even that thought is like would be dangerous for me.
Yeah.
Like, even the thought of it, like, no, be like just cut off, absolute, like, no.
You know, I might actually, I think by the time that we have a lot of those in our households, hopefully the conversation about the effects of pornography addiction will be, people will be talking about it more by that time. So maybe there's hope that we're not going to be like totally, because, you know, the bad thing was we were completely unaware when this really kind of happened to us, when it first started happening, and there's still not a lot of ways to become aware. But maybe by the time that the Oculus is out or your Google Glasses have stuff like that, this will be something that is talked about so much that you at least have that seed planted in your head about it.
Right. You can take some precautions right off the bat.
And you'll know not just because you'll know not just like the morality issues of viewing pornography, but you also know the physical issues of viewing pornography.
There are certain consequences for consistently, daily viewing a super stimulus with abandon.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully that will be more common knowledge by the time the Oculus comes out.
And I think it will be. Right now we've got a lot of research happening. It's been how many years since the Great Porn Experiment came out? I mean, we all know each other.
When did that come out? I'm going to look that up.
2011?
Yeah, that would make sense. The Great
I saw it in 2012. That's when I saw it. It's been 2 years. 2 years.
I'm pulling this up. Right, hold on. No,
Have I seen the Great Porn Experiment?
I'll link it to you right now. Yeah.
Can't remember. I'm sure I have.
You haven't seen it?
I'm sure I have.
No way.
It's good shit.
Since we've talked about this, you just you meditated and you decided inside your brain that this was a problem, and then you found the forum.
Wait. What are we talking about here? Talking about the Great Porn Experiment.
Talking about you.
About me? Oh, right. Yeah.
I'm talking about how you decided to take on this challenge.
Dude, I've had 6 hours sleep. No. Yeah, man.
You're busy, mate. Got a lot going on.
Yeah, it came out in 2012, actually. I just looked it up. Sorry.
Did it really?
May 16th, 2012. Or maybe they reposted it or something. I don't know, but that's what it says
April?
Here. May 16th, 2012.
No way. That means that I saw it when it was published.
Are you shitting me?
That lines up right. I think it was May 20th that I saw it.
Yeah.
May 20th, 2012. I didn't realize it was that new. Huh.
No, I remember when I saw it. It was after I discovered it. It was after I've already read YBR and everything, I think. That's when I first watched it.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't remember. Yeah, I remember I encountered a lot of the Psychology Today articles first.
Psychology Today was doing a write-up on that?
I think Marnia has a write-up in Psychology Today, which was one of the first ones I saw.
Oh, she writes for Psychology Today.
She does, yeah. I think so. I don't know. I recently liked her on Facebook, Marnia.
I think she's great on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Marnia's on Facebook.
She has a like page.
Does she?
Yeah. She has a like page. She doesn't really check it.
Between Marnia and Gary, I mean, Gary's TED Talk was the only reason that I'm even here with y'all lovely gentlemen.
Yeah, well, everything they do is the only reason we're... Honestly, I would have been passed out in a sex shop after masturbating if it wasn't for all that stuff.
Trousers at your ankles.
Yeah. Just... Wake up at 7 in the morning. Oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
No pants, jerk off booth 7. How did I get here? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let's go to jerk off booth 8.
That would have been me.
Cleaner.
That would have been me.
This will be. Can you imagine the jerk off booths there will be when Oculus comes out properly?
Oh yeah, they'll have the headsets and everything.
Have like headsets and like whole like they'll probably have like robot women you can bang, but then they don't look like real women. They just look like kind of like robots with like a flashlight that you just like.
Just got parts. That's all, and then you just throw on the goggles.
God.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it would be. Yeah, like,
people
literally.
have used that robot before too. I don't know. That would.
There's a thought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they would have.
Ooh.
Robot boots or boots.
Yeah. It's just a robot. It's like a robot skeleton, but it's got tits, and there's a little fleshlight down there, and that's the Terminator. That's what's gonna end human civilization.
That's so fucked up.
Fuck all that Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff.
Yeah, the big robots with the guns? No way, dude. We're not gonna be killed by pain. We're gonna get killed by pleasure.
Hey, dudes, look on the plus side. It's going to keep the population down.
That's true.
Right? Oh, yeah. I mean, look at Japan. They've got a negative birth rate.
That's true.
No, I shouldn't laugh about that, but the truth is that populations are rising too fast.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I guess just to kind of
silver lining here.
Yeah, the silver lining.
In the big picture, less people will be breeding.
I guess just to kind of get back a little bit back on topic. I guess I think that while there will be kind of new crazy sexual stimulating things that are going to come out just because there's a demand for it and technology's improving and stuff like that. I feel like also the conversation is probably going to get a little bit better about just sexual behavior, male sexuality, pornography, the effects of it. So hopefully you'll know a lot more about the risks with it. Because if you gave me an Oculus and a fleshlight at like 12, which I don't know why I would have one of those, but it would be deranged. I mean,
once again, I feel for the children.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's fucked, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. But
so fucked.
I wonder if, like you said, there'll be a balance because knowledge. I mean, the research that's going on right now, and the work that Gary and Marnie are doing.
Yep, and a lot of other people are looking at this sort of stuff now too, which is great.
It's becoming kind of a thing because everybody knows that fucking yourself on a daily basis just might not be the best thing for you.
No, definitely not.
So I think we'll strike a balance, but it'll be interesting. The future's going to be wild.
So here's one thing. Okay, I talked about this with my roommate once who quit porn with me. Do you think if so let's pretend you could somehow have any sort. Okay, so the idea, right? Novelty creates erectile dysfunction, right? The novelty of pornography. Let's say you could have in the real life any sort of sexual situation, any person on command. Do you think that would still cause people novelty?
Okay.
Would you still have erectile dysfunction?
Does James Franco take Viagra?
Now we know more about those guys in the Viagra commercials.
Yeah.
I guess you kind of get people who don't sex addicts have similar problems. Don't they get erectile dysfunction in any way? I don't know. I never looked it up really, but I wonder if they do.
I feel like if you're in if we're talking about real encounters, real sexual encounters, that kind of requires that you're with one person, generally, maybe, from start to finish, instead of 500 people from start to finish, which is kind of the MO, so to speak, of pornography consumption, is that it's novelty, and you see, like I said, maybe 500 women between when you start and when you come, and that's not possible.
Right? Yeah.
That's so far from possible. I bet if James Franco tried to fuck 500 people in a night. He couldn't swing it. He would not be able to swing it.
Yeah.
So I feel like
come close, but wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Did you really see 500 people?
He'd be hospitalized at 110, maybe.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, though, Jack, did you really see 500 women a night when you'd be masturbating?
Easily.
Seriously?
Easily.
Because I'd probably like watch maybe like 2 or 3 clips.
I never kept a count, but
no,
easily.
In your average porn session, you'd see 500 women, maybe more.
That's 1,000 tits. That's 1,000 butt cheeks. And I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I never bothered to count.
Wait, no, but like, I mean, like, over what period of time would you see 500?
Was that a normal session for you, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That lasts about that's over the course of say an hour.
Fucking hell, man!
Wow.
Oh, am I freaking you guys out now?
Well, I mean,
no,
we freak each other out, but
Yeah.
my sessions were really different. It would be like 30 minutes, granted 3 times a day, but like 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, I guess 15 minutes of browsing, but it was generally pretty. I mean, it was extreme-ish material, and just got it done with.
Yeah, same here. I'd probably browse for like not long. I'd find something pretty extreme, maybe get a couple of clips up, flick between the two, then I'd finish really quickly. And I'd just get done. Then I'd probably do it like another 2 times in the day, and that would be it.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
that was.
So for you guys, it was like quantity.
yes, yeah.
For me, it was like the end of the day when I was alone. It was like a hot bath. I would it'd be this hot bath of porn.
Yeah.
It would last for like an hour.
Yeah.
What it would be. And like I said, I never bothered to count. But given the rate that I can think of in my mind, and you multiply that by the duration, I would say easily 500 different women.
When you start doing the math with stuff like this, it's really messed up. I mean, I was thinking about it. If I did it on average 2 to 3 times a day, which is what I did, I was ejaculating 21 times a week. On average,
21 times a week.
Yeah,
that's you're losing like 2 gallons a year, man.
Oh God.
No wonder. Like, how can you lose that much of your own body and not be affected? You know?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty.
In hindsight, that would have a dramatic physiological effect.
It did. I mean, still have trouble getting it up sometimes, but
yeah. No, but the thing is, Jack, do you think that? Sorry, Charlie, do you think that means that our addictions are a bit different from Jack's in that, like, we're addicted to MO as well as P, whereas Jack's more addicted to P more than MO?
It's tough to know. There are differences in the way people view it. I know that for sure. There are people like me and you, Daniel, and then there are people, lots of people. I actually feel like more people look at porn like Jack does when I browse the forums. Long edging sessions, lots of clips, many hours. I'll raise my Kool-Aid to that. But I don't know. It's tough to know.
Well, I mean,
it's a really good question.
We think about this. You, Charlie, and you, Dan, you both suffered from erectile dysfunction, right?
Absolutely.
Like ED.
Yeah.
Whereas for me, it was different. I didn't have that same problem. So that on its own indicates to me that there are gradations and variations to the way we all suffer. We all experience dysfunction, but there is a lot of variety in how that dysfunction manifests.
Right.
Mm. And like I recovered quite quickly, like whereas Fugu started earlier and like still has trouble sometimes, whereas I started later and I was addicted for 6 years, but like now I'm able to have fully functional sex. So it's weird that
you started later.
I started watching porn at 13, probably not every day or anything, but just watching it at 13 and not masturbating. And then at 15, I started masturbating, and then that was an everyday. That became an everyday thing from that point, from that exact point.
That does seem later than I mean, I wasn't keeping a very careful log, but I'm sure that was later than I started.
Yeah, none of us really were, but mine. I remember I saw a first magazine in 3rd grade, first video in 4th grade, and then was downloading porn clips on LimeWire by 6th grade, and then I found this awful fucking site called Juicy Clips. That's the worst.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah. Oh, that because they didn't have rights to the full videos, and I was like 12, so they would put up 90-second clips that you could hover your mouse over every day, and there'd be like 120 of them, and so you just hover your mouse down. And I was like,
yeah, we talked about that last time, man. That was fucking intense.
Yeah. I recently kind of was like thinking about it. I'm like, that was a fucking bad site. I mean, they're all bad, but that's a particularly bad site.
Oh, and it's so much more. I mean, I feel like if porn was a drug, it just keeps getting refined into distilled, and now you go to what's it called? Tumblr, where people are blogging their own stuff, and that you can get a wall, just a wall of porn, and it's like 50 different GIFs and clips and pictures on a screen, and I think I picture that kind of wall of pornography, and damn, dude, that's like there's enough tits and ass on one screen that there's probably more tits and ass on one screen than the last 500 years of my ancestors saw in their life, which is insane.
Yeah,
it's frankly insane.
I'm kind of lucky. I quit porn before Tumblr was really became this sort of. It's not all Tumblr things are porn centric, but I know it's kind of infamous now for kind of having some pretty crazy porn things on it.
Dude, so. I keep finding fucking. I keep finding fucking shit on Twitter, man.
Yeah, god damn it.
Oh, there's porn
on Twitter.
On every single platform. Make no mistake. Whatever platform.
Facebook, there's not, is there?
I don't have.
I mean, I've seen some pretty. I haven't seen porn, but I've seen some pretty like these kind of bots. These women who are. I don't know what it is. Somebody made a bot, and it's just pretty explicit stuff in the pictures. Granted, it's not completely nude, but it's enough to get my brain going.
You're saying, Fugu, that there are bots on Facebook who just post pictures? That's just their function?
Kind of. I don't know really what they are. I just know they're not actually people. And it's usually...
not people.
Yeah. Well, it's...
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah.
I should kind of not necessarily, well, yeah, I guess peeking to that kind of stuff. But it's been a bit annoying. But then I kind of turned it off and it's okay. But it's just it's fucking hell, go away.
I know, right?
And it's the Twitter pictures as well, man, that get me. It's really fucking annoying. I want to just I don't go on Twitter much.
Yeah, no, I don't even have a Twitter. But I hilariously was on Twitter. That guy who's this prominent opponent of porn addiction and sex addiction, David J. Lay. I went on his Twitter and he subscribes to this girl who does weird sex stuff and posts the clips on Twitter or something. I didn't stay around to look. I saw that some girl completely naked in her Twitter picture. I'm like, oh, okay, turn that off. But I'm like, this guy has a PhD in psychology and this is his Twitter website. You're fucking unprofessional. Ugh.
Dude, maybe trying to prove a point or something that it's all just, yeah.
Yeah, he is, I think. Okay, I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom 1 sec. Hold down the show.
Out! Who's taking a dump? It looks like the boys get to play. When the mouse is away, the boys get laid.
Just say loads of really, shit stuff about Fugu.
Hey, isn't he a great guy? And don't people say nice things about him?
Yeah. Isn't Fugu just a great guy?
He's a really great guy. I mean...
He's a really great guy.
My hat's off to Fugu.
He has a nice beard.
He does. It's clean, it's professional, but at the same time, it's manly.
Yeah.
I admire Fugu's beard.
I admire Fugu in general. He looks like Hugh Jackman.
As a person, as a human being, I feel like he's a positive force in this world.
Yeah.
I'm happy to know him. I feel great gratitude that I came to know Fugu, the man. Oh, what a fucking ass.
The legend. Oh, fucking asshole's back. Oh, here he is.
Have a good time in there.
Yeah, I did.
Didn't much, as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of a radio show, so I had to go quick.
Did you have a turd?
No.
It was clean.
It was just number one, alright, guys? Just number one. What did I miss? What did you guys talk about?
We talked about anal sex. What's your opinion?
Are you serious? That's what you guys talked about?
I'm actually not serious.
Oh.
I'm rarely ever serious.
I was completely sold. I like. It's like, how did that happen? It would have been surprising.
No, Fugu, I'm sorry, but I have a congenital disorder that prevents me from being serious ever.
It permits me.
It permits me, but it also prevents me.
Right. I know plenty of people who have that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The bathroom is good. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah? It's clean in there? Smells good?
Kind of. It's a college house, so as clean as they get.
So, something came up when we were talking about differences between the three of us. And I want to pursue this. Fugu, you said you were mostly watching clips, right? Video?
Yeah, yep.
What about you, Jeff, a.k.a. Dan?
Jeff, a.k.a. Dan, was watching mainly clips, but would, towards the end, for novelty's sake, probably look at pictures, all sorts of things, try and get off, because clips kind of got boring after a while.
Yeah. Right. You need to
even the most extreme ones I was bored of.
Absolutely.
So I'd kind of get off to other stuff.
And I was probably
that wasn't.
Yeah, no,
I was high speed stuff.
I was just gonna say I was probably bored with clips for about 3 years, like bored, like it just didn't do it for me anymore, you know.
And you guys both suffered ED. Fugu, you're still working, still 2 years out,
combating it. Yeah.
How do you keep up? How do you keep the fire going, man? Because you seem like a guy with some fire in your belly, but 2 years out, like, what's your mind state like?
No, it's good. I was just talking to Daniel about this. You keep going because you do see improvements. I mean, 9 months ago, when I started my reboot, I couldn't even masturbate if I wanted to, like without porn. It would have been impossible. So. Now that I'm here and I can get erections with women or a woman consistently, it's you just keep going to see the improvements because you know it's working and you're getting better. Like this week, it's very easy to get erections for whatever reason. So that's kind of what keeps me going, and I'm also just kind of aware of the fact that. I guess I used to feel sort of weird or bad that progress wasn't coming very fast, but these things take time. We're this kind of new batch of people that are coming in, and I know that it's working. So just keep going. There's no reason to give up.
So you see these gradual improvements, and you know that porn's bad for the brain.
Yeah.
And so that allows you to keep walking the road.
Absolutely. Plus, I feel so great now. I feel way better than I have in a long time, like in my youth. So, just happy. And
Dan, you said that you're good to go. You feel recovered?
Do you know what, man? Like, I don't know. Like, I'd say recovery kind of gets to the point where like you're recovered and you can have sex and everything is okay, and you can do it all and it's fine. You have a libido and like you get erections when you're around girls. I don't really tend to get erections when I'm not around girls, or when I'm not being touched by someone. Like I don't tend to just like get spontaneous erections that much. No.
Get erections bacon toast?
No, not at all.
Do you get any morning wood frequently?
I do a bit sometimes, but not like a lot, really. Yeah. So I think I'm kind of there in terms of like it's like I'm functionally able, but I wouldn't say I'm completely rebooted and rewired just yet.
In terms of like the progress you will potentially make in the erectile dysfunction area. You could have better erections or something.
No, actually, my erections are completely strong when I'm with women.
Yeah,
it's really strange. Like they're 100% fine, and everything is just smooth. It's just fine. In fact, sensitivity has never been better.
Yeah,
my erection's never been better, and it's absolutely fine when I'm with women. But it's just when I'm not with women, I feel like almost like it could be that I've rewired myself to such an extent that I don't get it up just from thoughts anymore. Really, I just get it up from being with women. Maybe could that be possible? I don't know. It's like physical contact does it for me. It's that whole.
Like you need to be able to get it up when you're just. Because I mean, from where I'm standing, if you can get it up with women, isn't that the only time you actually need?
right. Yeah.
No, exactly, dude. But like, this is exactly the thing I'm saying. Like, it's weird. Like, if I'm like MOing or if I'm gonna MO or whatever, like, I might get an erection, like a part one, but then when I touch myself, that's when it kind of goes up even further and gets full. But like,
oh, I see.
I won't really get like a full one just from like being aroused by something I've seen or whatever. Very rarely. Only if it's like high speed. Only if it's like porn or something that I might see and I'm like shit. And if I peek, then I might. But it's kind of so. To that extent, like I'm still kind of the porny thoughts and the porny kind of stuff gets me like really like shit. But like other stuff, not so much. Like I'll get a little bit, but not so much. But then when it gets to the point where you're naked and touching and stuff, that's absolutely fine. Then it works.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm actually almost 100% the same way. I don't really. I guess that, like if I see a beautiful woman or something like that, sometimes I'll feel something, but it's not like I'm getting an instant hard on or anything. Like I only really am good to go when I need to be good to go. And
yeah. Same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I don't really mind. I mean,
yeah, neither do I.
Jack, are you similar? Or?
Well, it's interesting. And I love hearing you guys talk about it because we suffer from the same kind of malaise, so to speak. But it's different because for me, you guys both have girlfriends, or you both have girls that you can actually test this stuff on. For me, I'm a hermit, man. I live far away from any girl ever. No, it's what it is was for me the effects of the malaise were twofold. One, the first was anxiety. I was terrified of people. I could not be around strangers, and even people that I knew. I was just always. I was in my head, and I was like, what do I do with my arms? And am I standing weird? And it was this intense neurosis that I always had. And it was always present. And I was always locked up here and wondering how to act. And because of that reason, it was easier to just isolate myself, to just be in my own space and not deal with people. And that was the big thing. That was my big personal hell. And I keep walking this path, doing this fapstranotic thing, because the difference is immense. It's night and day. I love people. I'm back. I'm back in the world. I'm back interacting and making friends and like I said, night and day. So that was the first thing, anxiety, social anxiety, which is gone, just gone. The second thing was a sensitivity issue. And this is the thing that I actually haven't been able to test because I haven't been sexually active in 2.5 years. Yes. So, and before then, it was just a sensitivity issue where I didn't have ED. I could get it up, but I could not come. Could not come unless I was jerking myself off, which worked out fine in terms of sexual encounters, but it was just interesting because I was always faking orgasms, which felt weird as a guy.
Yeah.
How can you fake an orgasm as a guy?
Condoms, baby.
Yeah, if you have a condom.
All right.
See?
Fair enough.
So, that was what I was doing. And I saw the TED Talk 2.5 years ago. I haven't been laid in 2.5 years.
Damn you, Gary!
Exactly. No, it's weird because it's been this kind of withdrawal from sex in a way. I feel like I'm taking kind of a sabbatical. It's the longest I've gone without sex since before I started having sex. But in that time, I feel like I've made tremendous strides as a human, to the point where I don't stress about, it's been so long since will I ever have sex again? I know I'm going to have sex again. I'm not worried about it. It's been this great period. These last couple of years have been a great period of just kind of working on my own shit, to the point where now, as I sit before you gentlemen, I'm more confident and comfortable than I've ever been in my entire life. And that kind of lets me relax. So I don't know what the developments on the sensitivity front are going to be, but I have confidence that when the time comes, I'll be fine. Until then, I'm just kind of enjoying being back in the world, being back in the social world, because I wasn't there for a decade. I wasn't there.
Absolutely.
Now
So
I think
it's been a good journey.
It sounds amazing. Yeah, but I think now the time for you is to just forget about the past, everything that you've kind of had in the past, all these kind of problems of like anxiety and everything. Forget about it. Let it like even let the memory just drift, and then just be in the moment. And then I think straight away something will happen. Like you'll meet a really great girl or something.
The thing is, I don't feel pressure to make something happen. What's
going to happen? Absolutely, that's what I'm saying. It will click into place. Like the more you do it, like,
right?
Does that make sense? No, maybe I'm not making sense.
In my world, what's going on is I'm about to move. These last 2.5 years, you know why I haven't been laid? Because I live in my parents' basement.
You just graduated, right? 2.5 years ago?
I graduated 2 years ago, and I started paying off my loans from my parents' basement. And you can't get laid in your parents' basement. It's a rule.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen?
It's in the Bible.
What's happened? Yeah, it's in Genesis. Thou shalt not get laid in thy parents' basement. And I'm a God-fearing man, so I subscribe to that. But what's happened now is my loans are paid. I'm debt-free. I have a bit of a savings. So now I get to drift away. I get to go into the world. And this is, to me, a great spot to be in, because I feel better about myself than ever before. And now I'm moving.
Yeah.
Dude, you got it sorted, man.
It's all beautiful. Like, I'm feeling beautiful.
Got a spot of bad karma. Now you got some good karma, man, coming your way.
Well, you need to spend some time paying your dues. And these last 2 years...
That's the way I feel about it a lot, too. Yeah. It's like, you know what? I've been doing the wrong thing for 10 years in some fashion. Like, it might take a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm in it for the long haul.
Yeah. And that's the attitude that you have to have. That's the attitude that you have to have. This addiction was formed when we were at our most plastic, at our most malleable. And we've got that deep within our psyches.
Absolutely.
So you have to take a long haul kind of mentality.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Do you guys want to do some questions? Yeah. We have a whole bunch of them. Or not a whole bunch. Well, we have 2 of them. Maybe 3.
Let's get the mail. Come on.
Mail time. All right. Yeah. All right. Oh, I can't forget. There's one on Reboot Nation, too. One piece of mail there. All right. Going.
Postman.
It's the postman. All right.
We should cut an album.
We should. I love this comment. Y'all joking about the heroin habit was fucking hilarious. Great show.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot we did that.
That's right. We're talking about habits.
Yeah. Okay, so Xfinity, he watches the show all the time. And this is a good question because this is just what we were talking about. He asked, do you guys think that porn will always be easy to access as long as we have the internet? This includes the future, as in everyone knows that porn can be a serious problem and addiction, and also how easily children can be sucked into it.
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Thank you, Xfinity. That's a good question.
Can I take this one?
Sure.
Take it.
I think that as we become more aware of what porn does to the brain, as society becomes more aware of what porn does to the brain, there will be some serious, I hope, there will be some laws in place to prevent the widespread nature that porn currently has, to absolutely prevent it and lock down on it. Because the more research that comes out about this, it's all very well being liberal, but the more research has come out, the more ideals and societies will have to change their approach to it. So I'm certainly hoping that there will be some serious there's be a serious lockdown. I mean, the UK was actually doing David Cameron, our Prime Minister, was going to introduce a law recently to have an opt-in thing. So porn wouldn't be available on any internet service provider as a default. You'd have to actually opt in. You have to physically write to your service provider to opt in to be able to access pornography, and that was to protect the children from coming across it when they were surfing, in case the parents didn't install a blocker. Yeah. So that unfortunately didn't get passed in Parliament, but because of liberal sort of ideals and stuff. But actually, as a former porn addict, I know that this would have been a fantastic law to come into place, not for moral reasons particularly, although obviously protecting the children is a huge issue. Yeah. But just for the sake of all those thousands of guys out there, although they'd just opt in if they were of age, but literally the kids, the teenagers that are accessing this stuff at an early age, it'd be fantastic to have that as a law. I'm sure they'd find other ways around it if they didn't have the knowledge, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to start to see that really become widespread as more research comes out. This kind of opt-in policy. So you have to opt in to be able to watch it. Your parents will have to opt in to be able to watch pornography, to access it, and therefore it will become a less ubiquitous phenomenon to have just porn everywhere.
Agreed. I think that's a perfect synopsis. Actually, I feel like nobody here is really advocating for porn to be completely banned. Like, nobody should have pornographic material and shouldn't be allowed to have it. It's just sort of, or maybe we are. Maybe I'm misinterpreting you guys.
No, I don't think it should be banned. I just think people should be aware of the consequences, the potential consequences of it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And something that makes it harder for kids to not be able to get a hold of it is perfect too, because kids can't really be aware of the potential consequences of it. So
exactly.
I'm curious, Dan. When they were introducing this legislation, was there any talk at all about the research end? Or were they did it come across that they were trying to set up these blockers for a simply moral reason? Or was there any discussion of sort of the Gary Wilson, Marnia Wilson end of things, where this is a super stimulus that has a profound effect on the brain?
No, from what I gathered, there was only a moral. It was coming from a moral standpoint, because they had a kind of idea of the figures or the stats from the service providers that showed how many people were accessing pornography daily, and the figures were astonishing. And they were like, shit, surely some of these people must be people who are under the age of 18. There's no way. And so that was from a moral point of view, because they were seeing such a huge rise in numbers of people accessing hardcore pornography sites. They didn't mention in their legislation anything from Gary Wilson and any of that kind of stuff at all. But I do think that's absolutely relevant. And if they had been aware of it, perhaps it would have. But obviously that hasn't been backed up. Well, now it has, but it hadn't then been backed up by hard evidence from repeated testing. So it couldn't really be used to pass legislation. It has to have some real hardcore backing behind it. So hopefully, in time, that law might get passed again, and maybe we should push for it. I don't know. I mean, who's going to do it if we don't?
I mean,
we're the guys at the forefront, aren't we?
Yeah, we are the forefront, and I feel like that kind of an effort would be much more potent if it had backing it. If you could appeal to people's self-preservation, where you could say, okay, we're not trying to keep you from watching porn because porn is icky. We're trying to keep you from watching porn because, hey, I mean, think of your boners, guys. Think of those. I mean, can you imagine how much more effective that message would be if you could actually, like, if you were trying to ban cigarettes and you could say, hey, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes because it's kind of an adult thing to do and you're not an adult yet, versus, hey, you shouldn't smoke cigarettes because they'll give you fucking cancer.
One is way more compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And hopefully I want, sorry to interrupt, but just better communication about just kind of sexuality in general. I feel like there's sort of a stigma about talking about sexuality. And now that we're learning it's so much more complex and there's all these kind of things as a young man, and young women as well, that you have to really think about when it comes to sexuality, we can talk about it more. To be educated in public school systems and stuff like that. Like this,
absolutely.
This sort of stuff should be tied in with sex ed. So
I completely agree. And it's
Absolutely.
I mean it's just such simple. It sort of seems like very simple things that can be done just to kind of start to get people just thinking about this as a kind of a serious thing rather than just porn, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, initially, cocaine, when cocaine first hit the market, people were taking it like wildfire. Everyone was having a sniff. It was completely legal, and you could just have it in your purse or wallet, and you just take a big sniff, and everyone was on it. They were wired constantly on dopamine, cocaine, shit. And then the government were like, this is causing, the government was like, this is causing problems, some serious problems. People are just going nuts with this stuff, and it's seriously addictive, and so they banned it. Obviously now it's got this kind of big sort of thing. Cocaine is obviously bad for you. Everyone knows that, if you take too much cocaine, it's pretty fucked.
Yeah.
But with porn, this is kind of like, this is where we're at with porn right now. It's legal, and everyone's taking like wildfire, and they think it's great, and it's like it's the best thing since sliced bread, and they're like, it's fine, it's good for you, or whatever. It's natural, whatever. This is like what happened with Coke when it first hit the market, and what we're going to start to see now is a serious decline in the amount of people advocating the use of pornography as a healthy means to sexual expression. It's absolutely not a healthy means for sexual
learning about your body
expression.
Yeah.
It's not.
It definitely is not. Yeah. People who think otherwise are just delusional, honestly. Yeah. All right, here's the other question. This is from Reboot Nation. It's OSS. He watches this show all the time. He's like posts all the time on this thread. Okay, he says, I have a question for you and the crew. It's semi-complex. May just be easier to answer via message rather on the show. We'll answer it on the show. But he says,
I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah, we'll give it a shot. He's in a situation, and he's not really sure what to do. So basically, he's 18. He's going on 19 soon, and he wants to move to a different city because he just doesn't really like where he lives right now. And he kind of wants to do it for personal growth, etc. So he doesn't know what to do for a job or career, but he feels like moving would benefit him, even though he has like a lot of anxiety and his reboots have lots of withdrawals, and he's kind of feeling like the beginning because he's how many days in? I can't remember. I think he used to have a clock, but he's right in the beginning when it's kind of a tumultuous time to be rebooting. So he wants to do it, but he's not sure if he should be making serious life decisions in this stage. Is it a good idea? Should he wait it out and live at home until he starts to feel better, or when maybe his judgment isn't clouded? That's what he puts. It's a good question, actually.
Yeah. As someone who moved when I was 18 for my gap year, when I was in the height of my porn addiction, I can probably say that for me, I wasn't aware of it at the time, and it didn't have a positive effect because it just kind of, I just used to not do anything, but that was completely different because I wasn't aware. The fact is that you're aware of your addiction. You seem to have your head on in terms of you're not caught up in the whole. You don't seem to be kind of. You're having these thoughts of moving and moving out, which is really positive stuff. It's your fear because of your addiction that you're kind of hesitating with that. I think go with what feels natural to you. I personally would do it because I think it would, even though it would be tough at first, especially when you're dealing with an addiction, a new place, etc. I believe that having a change of environment is a very, very good thing to kind of get your head together and kind of make new friends and have a different set up around you is it can have a very positive influence.
Yeah.
In terms of what to do, I mean, if you want to go abroad, you can always do a TEFL course and teach English. Like, that's something you can do anywhere in the world, and it's something that I'm going to do for a few months when I'm in Germany, just to earn a bit of money. It's not something I want to do as a career or anything, just for a few years. Well, not a few years, a few months, hopefully. Or if you're interested in fitness, personal trainer, you could do that anywhere. Lots of options. If you like music, practice hard and you can do busking.
Absolutely, yeah.
Lots of options you can do. It's just a case of don't worry about it and just stick to your guns. And I really think that you'll be set. Just
yeah. That's what I was going to say too. I guess it's really not. If you really feel like you want to move and it's like kind of taking over, then you should totally go for it. But there's nothing wrong with, like, especially when you're beating like something that could be a huge addiction in your life, just taking some time and just focusing on that. I mean, if it's the tumultuous time for you, taking 2 months to really master. Taking 2 months to master your urges or cravings or whatever problems you're having is okay, because you can still go and teach abroad if you wanted to. And those are great programs, by the way. That's a really good idea. They'll pay for your room and board, and you just teach a language in a different place.
I'd recommend going to a country which has like a kind of like a nice sort of spiritual sort of environment. I don't know, maybe like a Buddhist country, or like somewhere where you can sort of meditate and get down to sort of this deep kind of thinking. Because that's what really helped me anyway to get out of my funk, was just like going in as opposed to out, looking for happiness everywhere else apart from within me. And when I found it within me, I was like, well, this is really easy. How did I not know this all the time? It's so simple.
I would actually, argue that going any place that doesn't speak your language or has like a decently different culture than your own is a very introspective spiritual experience. I went to Mexico, and it's predominantly Catholic, but there was nothing like that 3-week experience I had there. I lived with a family, and it's changed me forever. And that was about a year and a couple months into my reboot when I did that study abroad program. So, and that was something I would always be too afraid to do pre-quitting porn. I would be way too afraid to go abroad or do anything like that. It just wouldn't be worth it. So, it's definitely worth it to get out at some point, but you shouldn't feel ashamed if you're just trying to master your addiction. You think that's you want to take some time just doing that for a bit too. So
definitely, I think just do it, just go for it, because life's too fucking short to worry about. But I'm not recovered yet. I haven't done this. I haven't done that. Just do it and just immerse yourself in the culture and immerse yourself in the life and forget about porn. Just forget about it. Let yourself forget about it, and then you'll be fine.
Precisely.
Who posted that question?
He's on Reboot Nation, on the thread on Reboot Nation. OSS. He listens to all our shows too. He's awesome. Really nice.
OSS?
OSS.
OSS. Well, yeah. OSS, you're 18, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that you have no student loans, and you probably have no debt. And if that's the case, you could wait until you're quote-unquote rebooted to go out and make these steps in your life. But I would argue that making these kind of steps outside your comfort zone, going where you don't have a safety net, that is rebooting. So I would concur. Exactly. I would concur with my co-hosts, and I would say do it. Go where nobody knows your name. Go where you have no safety net, and go where you have to either sink or swim, because doing that will make you so busy and so constantly having to reach in order to grab a handhold that you won't have to worry nearly as much about fighting the fight, about resisting. You'll be so busy setting yourself up and living your life that will be all that you have to do. You can really truly leave the fight behind by stepping out of your comfort zone into this new place. And like I said, if you have no debt, which at 18 I would imagine is the case, you're free, man. You're free. So I would, from my standpoint, I'd say absolutely go out there and do it, because you're going to grow a fuck ton by being out there on your own. So do it, man. Do it.
And don't forget to smile, man.
Yeah, everybody loves a friendly guy.
No, seriously, don't forget to smile. It's so important. People don't realize it, but smiling, just going about life, smiling, and just relax into it. Let yourself relax. Give yourself that space. Don't worry about completing a porn addiction recovery or anything. It's not something to be completed. It's something that's an ongoing process. It is the process of becoming a better man. Because it's becoming a man. It's not the process of recovering from ED or anything like that bullshit. That's just that's a positive side effect of just recovering in general and becoming a better version of yourself.
Exactly. Precisely. Okay, I hate to cancel it.
I need to go.
Yeah, I do too. I gotta work in like 50 minutes.
I've got to study. I've got an assignment in for tomorrow. Shit.
Okay. It was an hour and 6 minutes long. This was a long one. So.
Shit.
All right. So.
It was good though.
Yeah, it was really good. That was a great episode. All right. So I guess I'll sign off right here.
Cool.
Saying goodbye.
See you later, guys.
Yeah, we'll do another episode. We just did 8. We just did 8 episodes. But I'm determined. I want to do more. And I'm still down to do more. So.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
These guys are as well.
Cheers, mates.
So.
Stay abstinent.
Yeah. Don't jerk yet or whatever.
Stay awesome, brothers. Fight the good fight. You're becoming better.
But yeah, we're going to do more episodes. So. We'll just sign off right now, and then we'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll get some more special guests into the mix, too, because that's always fun to do when we have somebody.
Selena.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, she's very busy, but I'll get her on.
We're coordinated. Off-show coordinating it, but... All right.
Yeah, beans. Cool beans. All right.
Signing off.
Have a good one.
Signing off.
Bye-bye.